Good evening. Tonight we called a meeting of Mayor and Council to order on November 25th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you would all rise for the invocation by Councilman Alan Quinlan.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we gather with a shared commitment for the well-being of our community. Inspire us with creativity, justice, respect for one another. Strengthen our resolve to serve the common good and to make choices that uplift every resident. May our work here today be worthy of the trust placed in us. Please keep former Chief Gary Flood in your prayers as he is battling a illness. And doesn't sound, just please keep him in your prayers. In your holy name we pray, amen.
Amen. If you would remain standing for pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Are there any changes to the agenda for tonight's meeting?
No, sir, there are not.
Okay. Just a reminder to council, following our regular session, we will have executive session. At this time, I do not need to ask for approval of the minutes of the planning session held on October 24th, 2025. Those minutes have been provided in your packet. If there are no questions at this time, I'll accept the motion.
Councilman Holland, I second that motion.
All right. Maybe first from Councilman Holland. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
We have a second from Councilman Bradley. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, it's passed unanimously. Now we're going to move over to the minutes for the regular meeting on November 11th, 2025. Those minutes have also been provided in your packet. If there are no questions regarding those minutes, I will accept the motion.
Councilwoman Grassett, I make a motion to approve those minutes.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Grassett. Is there a second?
Councilman Quillen, I will second.
There's a second from Councilman Quinlan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, those passed unanimously as well. At this time, we're going to move on to public comment. Is there anybody here tonight for public comment?
We have Jean Briggs Johnson here for public comment.
Ms. Briggs Johnson, would you come forward, please? If you wouldn't mind stating your name and address, please.
Jean Briggs Johnson, 442 Thomas Street, Seaford, Delaware.
Thank you very much.
All right. We're writing to formally express our concern and dissatisfaction regarding the city's failure to comply with its own notification requirement outlined in the city code. According to the ordinance, all residents and property owners within 300 feet of a parcel requesting a variance must be notified in advance, and any public hearing or consideration for that request. Unfortunately, we did not receive any such notification regarding the recent variance application for properties located at 728, 730, and 732 Clarence Street, despite residing within the legally mandated notification radius. This requirement exists to ensure that the affected residents have fair and meaningful opportunity to review proposed changes, prepare comments, and participate in the public process. By not providing the required notice, the city has denied us the ability to fully engage in a matter that directly impacts our homes and the community. We feel that it is important to note that when the city needed our help with addressing the drug problem in this area, we were contacted without hesitation, and we willingly cooperated. We would have appreciated the same courtesy and level of communication when decisions affecting our neighborhood, such as this variance request, were underway. Respectful two-way engagement builds trust, and this situation unfortunately reflects a lapse in that process. Ms. Briggs notified Mike Bailey on November 3rd after a conversation with the property owner, Karen Dokes, who in her heated discussion slipped and told Mrs. Briggs about the variance and said no matter what, it was getting approved. On November 4th, Mrs. Briggs sent an email at 4:48 p.m. to Mike Bailey, CC to Charles Anderson, requesting that since we were not notified, there should not be a vote on this variance tomorrow, on November 5th. On November 5th at 6 a.m., Mr. Bailey's response was a copy of code requirement B and C, but not Part A. It was missing. Again, I stated at 8:32 a.m. that no one was notified by mail. Mr. Bailey stated that he did not have a list of who was notified who it was mailed out to, but the person was out on maternity leave and did not know when she would be back, and he would try to find the list, but never did. On November 10th, Mrs. Briggs sent an email to Mike Bailey and Charles Anderson to find out the status of the variance. Mike Bailey responded that the board approved the variance request for those lots. Later that evening, around 4:39, Ms. Briggs received an email from Charles Anderson saying he accidentally deleted my voicemail to call him on his cell phone. During this conversation between Charles Anderson and Ms. Briggs, Mr. Anderson told Mrs. Briggs she did not understand the city's point of view, and the letters were mailed, and it's not the city's fault that no one received them. Afterwards, he said the woman who mailed them had cancer and was not back yet. So Mrs. Briggs is now confused. Is the woman on maternity leave, or did she have cancer? Either way, it was clear that no one cared that the letters were not mailed, and their minds were made up to pass this variance without the residents' and property owners' input. Given these concerns, we respectfully request the following: a written explanation for why the required notification was not issued, an assurance that corrective measures will be implemented to prevent similar violations in the future. We value the city's stated commitment to transparency, community partnership, and responsible planning. We trust that this matter will be addressed promptly and that steps will be taken to restore confidence in the notification process. Thank you for your time and attention. We look forward to a written response. Sincerely, the residents of Clarence and Thomas Streets.
Thank you, Ms. Burgess.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else here tonight for public comment?
No, there's no one else here for public comment.
All right, just to check, is anybody online? Okay. Is there anybody here for correspondence?
No, sir, we have no correspondence.
Okay, so at this time, I'd like to ask for a motion to enter into a public hearing at 7:07 PM Eastern Standard Time. Is there a motion?
So moved.
A motion from Vice Mayor Henderson. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, second from Councilman Quillen. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. I'm going to move on to the 7:07 public hearing.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Ben is here as well from GMB, as you all know. He's here for technical questions and for my emotional support. So you all are aware of the Martin Farms Sewer and Water Relocation Project. I think you all know that we broke it up into two phases. Phase one has already been approved, funded, and we've closed on the loan for that. So what you're seeing here tonight is the public hearing for phase two of the project. And public hearing number one and public hearing number two are both going to address water and sewer. This one is for the sewer. Public hearing number two is for the water. But basically what I'm going to say is going to pertain to both of them. So phase two sewer relocation was for $2,070,000. We did get a binding commitment letter for a 20-year loan at 2%. Next slide. It's not working. Right? Next slide. It's not working. So just a little background. Again, we started it back in 2023. Phase one is this is for the sewer one, right? Yep. So we got loan and principal forgiveness for the SRF funding is secured for phase one. Phase two we submitted in February of 2025. And the neighborhood was constructed in 1950. You guys have all seen this before. Sewer, water, and electric are located behind the homes, which is difficult to access. So we're trying to move it out to the front, and that's why we've proceeded with phase one. Next slide. There's a hard-to-see picture that you really can't make heads or tails of, but phase one is the right side, which is nylon, locust, and some of Rodney. And then phase two is this section over here, which is Reed and McKean, and then this additional locust tree. Next slide. So again, this is the total project, and this is for water and sewer, which is both public hearing number one and number two. but the total project is $5.8 million. The total SRF funding is 4.46, and we received $1.35 million in principal forgiveness for the water side. The Phase 1 water was totally forgiving. Phase 2 is the 1.25 million. And principal forgiveness, we did get $388,000, almost $389,000, so we do have a loan for that section as well. But back to public hearing number 1. I'm sorry, this is all confusing, but Phase 2 is the $2 million for Phase 2 sewer. Next slide. This is just the timing. This is for Phase 2 we're talking about here. So we were looking, and this is going to change from what I'm going to tell you here in a minute, but this is Phase 2 design. We were looking to get completed in February, bid the project in March, awarded in April, and then construction in 2026. Next slide. Okay, so what this is we received a binding commitment letter to go to receive the loan that we requested in February. What we did was we put in for Phase 2 because we received 100% principal forgiveness on the water. We thought that we should get the project in right away for Phase 2. So we did that, and unbelievably, the state turned this around pretty quick, and so they funded the project. They didn't give us 100% principal forgiveness on the water, but they did fund the project rather quickly. So they funded it, and we don't have it in the budget. We don't have the money in this year's budget because Phase 1 is in FY26 budget. So we would have to put this work in FY27 budget. So we spoke to the state about revising their binding commitment letter because the binding commitment letter has a requirement of going to closing on the loan within 120 days. So we asked them to, they said that they could amend that and make it so it's 30 to 60 days past July 1st. So that would give us an opportunity to see if it makes the budget or not. But they wanted us to go ahead and present this, see if you guys wanted to proceed with it so we didn't lose the funding, lock it in, and then just amend the binding commitment letter. So.
I have a question.
Sure.
Could you please, for just clarity for people that haven't been following this closely, explain why this is necessary?
Sure.
In terms of the conditions in that area?
Yeah. Yep. So this, again, it was put in the late 60s, 50s, late 50s, early 60s. And it's all in the back of the homes. Can you go back to that map, please? So it's all in the back of the homes. So it's really hard to access. It's really hard, you know, when there's a problem, everyone has fences there. It's really hard to get any kind of equipment back there. If we have a major water main break or anything like that, to get equipment back there would be really tough. So we would like to, or we are, moving it into the streets like normal neighborhoods. Most neighborhoods, all the water and sewer infrastructure is in the streets with services coming from the front. So this project will relocate the sewer mains and then give all the new homes new water and sewer service lines. So it's a very important job. We did this with the electric, where they put it all underground a few years back. So it's really needed. And also we're going to upsize one of the mains in there to possibly service a future development down on Orlando Road as well.
So at the time, it was done to make the development look aesthetically pleasing, but was not, they weren't prepared to have this last 50, 60 years later.
Yeah,
Okay.
and yes, and also, you know, they were all brand new properties, so they didn't have fences, they didn't have trees, shrubs, all that kind of overgrowth that they have.
Well, don't get me wrong, the reason why I'm saying this is if somebody's just walking into this and hearing about it, they're like, well, how come the city's going into debt for all this money for that side of town? And I just wanted to make it clear. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Public hearing number 1.
Yep, so,
Director Mears, do you mind just going over, also just to state where we want to start? I think you're going to start on Nylon Boulevard and work your way west, is that correct?
yeah, I mean, that's, yes, so we're gonna work, it's hard to see, but all these homes, you can see it right. You can see now that it's in the back of these homes here, that's water and that's sewer that are servicing these. This one here, water and sewer servicing this row. This is the dividing line between phase 1 and 2. So we would be working on all these. Locust, this is gonna be the main thing that's gotta be replaced first, because this is the main trunk line that all these will fall into. So by rights, they'll probably start here and then work their way up. But, so we tried to put it in 2 phases because we knew it was gonna be an expensive project. And luckily, we did get almost $1.5 million of free money, so.
Thank you for explaining that.
Yep.
Vice Mayor?
So to my thinking, the only thing that's going to be changed on this commitment letter that they're going to resend would be the last sentence. If the loan closing shall not have occurred within 120 days of receipt of this letter, they're going to change that to 60 days from July 2026.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any additional questions or comments from council? Okay.
This is a public hearing.
This is public hearing number 1,
Could you ask for public comment if there is any?
and this is for sewer, really.
Okay, I thought we were tying 1 and 2 together. But is there any comment from the public or question from the public on public hearing number 1? Okay, on number 2.
Okay, so public hearing number 2 is exactly the same thing that, well, it included some of the things that I just spoke about, but this is, public hearing number 2 is actually for the water relocation portion. Next slide. That's next slide. So, yeah, it's 1.25, but we did get some principal forgiveness. Again, it's a 20-year and a 2%, so.
So in your package is the binding commitment offer letter, and it does outline the terms of the loan, 2% interest during the disbursement period. It is a 2% interest rate on the loan, and during the disbursement period, the interest rate will be 0. So until that, we do the construction, it's 0%. But as the director alluded to, after the project is completed, up to $388,902 of the principal balance will be forgiven. The remaining principal balance, approximately $861,098, will require principal and interest payments semi-annually in an amount sufficient to amortize the outstanding balance over 20 years. So that's the good news that, of the $1.25 million, we are receiving principal forgiveness of just under $400,000 for this project, should council decide to proceed.
Yeah, and the only other thing I'll add is, now that this is kind of played out this way, and we did get the principal forgiveness that we did, so it kind of escalated, I guess, the phase 2, we're probably going to bid it all as one package. So there's economy of scale to get it all, a project in one bid, one project, one mobilization, one disruption to the neighborhood. So we won't start phase 1. We won't bid phase 1 like now or the beginning of the year like we thought we would. We'll probably push everything to July.
Okay. Are there any additional questions or comments from council? Vice Mayor.
So are we under the same constraints with this commitment letter?
No, because that one's already done. The loan's already closed and everything for that. So they'll allow us to just push that
For
off.
phase 2?
Yes. For phase 1, loan is already closed.
But we're talking about phase
Yeah, phase 2.
Phase 2.
Right. Phase 2 will just change the commitment letter, the
Okay.
timeline, yeah.
All right.
Any additional questions or comments from council regarding public hearing number 2? Any questions or comments from the public regarding public comment number 2? Okay. We'll move to public hearing number 3.
Next slide. Yep. So this is the I don't know why it says public hearing number 1, but this is the nylon well project that we're all aware of. So we put in for funding, and it's a $2.7 million project. We did receive a 20-year term at 2%, but the great news is they gave us 100% principal forgiveness, so they're giving us all the money to do the project, $2,700,000 to do the project. So within that project cost is the actual engineering and design. So we haven't started any of that yet. All we've done is the preliminary work with test wells and see what kind of yields we can get from the area. But we have not designed anything, done any kind of engineering that, because we had to get this funding to do that, to pay for it.
Could you go to the next slide, bro?
Go to the next slide.
There
Yep.
you go.
So, as you all are aware of, should be that we have 5 production wells. We're down to 3. Nylon was removed a long time ago. Well, was put out of service pretty much quite a few years ago, 2005. Delaney we lost in 2021 with the radium. So we're down to 3 operational wells, which can be scary at times in the summer and peak, during peak requirements. I was down this summer. It was a little hairy, but so anyway, there's a need to replace a well or add a new well. We're looking to go to some deep wells because of the PFAS concerns. That's a new, everyone's heard about the PFAS concerns. We did get some funding to do some engineering on that as well, which we're doing some reconnaissance at some different locations, or will be. But we did do deep test wells at these locations. Next slide. There's kind of, that's just a map of where the current towers and well stations are now. You can see they're spread around town. So you can see Delaney, where Delaney is, the far left lower corner. So we're trying to find something down in that, and you can see existing nylon wells kind of in the middle there. So we've lost those 2 wells on the west side of town, so we're looking to, get some kind of production from the west side of town to help offset that. So that's why we chose, one of the reasons we've chose this location. So we did 2 production wells, and we're looking to put submersible wells, raw water piping, test treatment station, of course, building. The building appearance will conform to the Nylon Boulevard area surroundings, and then possibly emergency generation. So, next slide. And that's just the location of the 2 test wells. Treatment building, not quite at the end of that point. We're looking to put it a little more to the north, near the what we'll call I'll just call the north property line, straight from West Poplar Street. Next slide. And there's the kind of the construction costs. 2.797, but we received 2.7, so we do have to put a little skin in the game, but I think it's well worth getting $2.7 million free. So next slide. Yep, so GMB is looking to hopefully get the design done by April, bid it in June, award contract in August, and start construction in October of 2026, and hopefully have a completed project by September of 2027. So you can see these things take time. If we approve it today, or we won't approve it today, but when we approve it at the next meeting, if it gets approved, it's still a year away, so, or more. So next slide. I think that's it. No, there it is. Principal forgiveness, 2.7. You got to keep saying it because it's such a good thing. Yeah. It's free money. Yeah, we'll take it every bit we can get. So next slide. No, that's it.
Okay. Any questions or comments from council regarding public hearing number 3? Councilman Quillen.
Dr. Mears. Okay, going back to one of the slides there, I was looking at the Arbutus location, and the capacity there was 1,700.
Mhm.
Okay, and the other two were, I think, were at 750.
You can go back to that little table. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. One more. Two more. There it is. Yep.
Okay, so
That's
right now,
technical
the other
help.
two are at 750, right?
Yes.
Now, the Arbutus is the largest station that we have right now. What's the comparison of this station on Nylon now compared to these three here? What capacity will that be?
Well, I will say that Arbutus is rated at 1,700, but we don't get that because once they put the Calgon system on there, it reduced our flow through the system, so we're down to like 1,100 to 1,200 gallons a minute.
Okay.
So I believe I heard that we're looking to try to get 500 gallons a minute out of each well, but there's there's a little more work to be done, whether we're going to get that or not.
So this well on Nylon is going to be probably about the same size as the ones at the Public Works location.
Yeah, each individual well will be smaller.
Okay.
You know,
For any concern about anybody in the area as far as residents, concerns of noise or anything like that, do you see any issues with that?
no, so you could go by any of our stations, and I'm not going to say that there's never any noise, but you know, these wells operate. These are going to be submersible wells, so the wells themselves are in the ground. You don't hear them. We do have some treatment equipment inside the building itself that does run when the wells are running. But we typically run the wells from like 7 a.m. to, they go off about, I don't know, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They don't run at night typically.
So I go by the Arbutus location quite a bit, and I never noticed any noise coming out of there. So the Arbutus location is probably running, what, 70% of the time, maybe?
They all run the same amount of time, but it's our largest production well, so you would hear it in there. And it's a big metal building that would, you know, but
Now, the building that we're going to construct, will it have any type of insulation into it or anything like that?
we hope to put some in there, yes,
Okay.
through the design process.
Just to keep the noise level?
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
yep, yep,
Smart.
Thank you.
yep.
Vice Mayor?
Referring to that same chart, all the wells are in the Columbia Aquifer, and I heard you say that you drilled deeper. Is this a separate aquifer?
Mm-hmm, yep. It's
So
a
what is
confined-
that?
It's a confined aquifer.
The Minokan?
I think
Min-
it's
min-
the chop tank,
Chop tank aquifer? So,
approximately like 400 feet
'cause,
below grade.
you know, my main concern is that we have a radium contaminated well that's 1,000 feet away,
Maybe a little more.
as a crow flies, maybe. So, you know, that would be my concern, that we're punching through that layer, because if there's radium there, what's to say that the plume won't go to some of these other wells?
Well, so the requirement from the state while we're talking to them is they have a technology where they actually seal, as they poke through the unconfined layer, they'll seal it up.
Well,
So-
I'm
Yeah, so there should not be any, we don't know. if
and
we're-
my concern is that if all of the wells, except for this new one, and it would be in the chop tank
Oh, I see.
aquifer, remain in the Columbia aquifer, what is their vulnerability because you got radium
Sure,
in one of them?
yep, I got you, yep. And also PFAS, they're susceptible to PFAS where the deep well is not.
Yeah, I think I'm correct. There are a couple wells on the Invista property in between this proposed site and the Dutton Avenue, Delaney Street location. Am I not correct? Because when we had it modeled, we reached
Yeah.
out to the state
Shallow wells.
geologist. Yeah,
Yeah, shallow wells.
official aquifer wells. If you ride by the DuPont plant, the
Seen them
Invista
out
plant, you
front.
can actually see them out front. There are several. I think total, we were told there are 5 on the site, 2 that are closer. From speaking with the state geologist a couple years ago, Mr. Mears and I, he did not note any of that same radium contamination in those wells. So that's somewhat of an indication, although you can never guarantee, and your concerns are very well, it's a great point, although you can never guarantee it, that has not migrated to those wells at this point.
I think the future is, they're wanting us to go to deeper wells, you know, so that's where we're heading, I think.
One follow-up, if I
Please,
could.
please.
What was the difference in water quality of that yield on the test wells?
The pH is different, so it's higher than actual, you know, in the shallow wells, the pH is low, so we have to adjust the pH up. the pH is higher with the deep well, so we'll have to lower it. But other than that, the quality was about the same. The yield is less because of because of the deeper well, but so that's why we need 2 wells versus 1, and maybe even 3. We don't know yet. So,
Thank you.
Any additional questions or comments from council regarding public hearing number 3? Any questions from the public regarding public hearing number 3? All right.
And before we move on, I'll only make one comment to council. In accordance with our charter to take these loans out, this is the first leg of 2 public hearing presentations. So these same 3 public hearings will come back at the December 9th meeting for their second leg of the public hearing. And then at that point, should council want to proceed, there will be a resolution for each project that would need to be adopted.
Question?
Yes, sir.
Vice Mayor.
Do you expect the state to have a modified agreement by that time?
by the next meeting, yes.
10-4. All right. Thank you, Director Mears. Appreciate it. Okay. At this time, I'd like to make a motion, or excuse me, I'd like to ask for a motion to close the public hearing and re-enter our regular meeting at 7:31 Eastern Standard Time. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
A motion from Councilwoman Grassett. Is there a second?
Councilman Holland, I second.
I have a second from Councilman Holland. Are there any questions on the motion? Okay. At this time, I'll seek a roll call vote, and we'll begin with Vice Mayor Dan Henderson.
Yes, because it's good to move on.
Yes, sir.
We don't need a vote.
I didn't think so.
None of these,
Threw me
I'm
off.
sorry,
Threw me off.
that shouldn't be
That's
in there.
all right. That's
We
all
don't
right.
need any votes on this. This is just a public hearing to gain input.
I'm
Yeah,
like
sorry.
Anchorman. You put it on that screen, I'm
Sorry.
going to say it.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
I am Ron Burgundy. All right.
I apologize.
That's okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, all the councilmen in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Okay, we're moving on.
Okay.
New business, number 1.
All right, so in your packet, you have a dedication agreement for the parking lot at Hooper's Landing Golf Course. And the reason why we're presenting this, it would permit the city to use community transportation funding to repave the area. So I'll direct council's attention to Exhibit A of the agreement. Excuse me. At the top of the page, that is the rear of the pro shop, and it was a tennis court. I think it might have been 2 tennis courts, actually, at some point. Several years ago, I'm going to say 5 years ago, the Director of Public Works was asked if he could get a contractor to seal coat that and open that up, stripe it for parking. He did do that at minimal cost. That seal coating and striping has kind of wore out. The golf course gets a lot of use of that, and in speaking with the senior center, the people that are at the pool, the Seaford Community Swim Center, and the golf course consultant, parking is needed specifically during swim meets, golf tournaments, events at the senior center. So they'd like to formalize this area shown in red and repave it permanently. And then they are suggesting the city consider expanding the parking lot into the area that's in yellow. We did reach out to Representative Short and Senator Richardson for assistance with funding, because this total project is just below $100,000. So Representative Short did respond. He offered to provide a third of the funding necessary through his CTF funds. So to do that, the dedication agreement that this area would be dedicated to public use into perpetuity permanently would be necessary to receive those funds. So should council want to make this improvement, we would need to enter into this agreement. The mayor would need to execute it, the mayor and myself, and then we would process that with the state. This would become a public parking lot in perpetuity, and we could receive the funds and eventually repave the area. I will try to answer any questions council might have.
Vice Mayor. Yep.
In this agreement, will there be an easement to get onto that because you're on private property all around it?
Yeah, it's not necessary. They haven't asked for one. It's a good point. I think they have these type things in other locations, but they have not requested one at this point. Now, I will say, the access point there off of Sussex Highway, I believe that's necessary for fire lane ingress and egress. So I don't see us relocating it without supplanting it with something that's equally as good, that would provide access to both parking lots, the buildings and structures on the site. But we sent this drawing up to the folks at DelDOT, and they have no comments that's come back.
I see you pondering over there. I'm waiting for a follow-up.
I'm going to withhold any
All
other
right,
questions.
all right. Speak now, forever hold your peace. All right, anybody else on council have a question or a comment regarding new business number 1? All right. At this time, if there are no questions or comments, I will ask for a motion.
Councilman Cohen, I'll make the motion to approve the dedication agreement for the parking lot at Hooper's Landing Golf Course that would permit the use of community transportation funding, CTF, to repave the area as presented.
I have a motion from Councilman Quinlan. Is there a second?
Councilman Holland, I second that motion.
We have a second from Councilman Holland. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes unanimously. On to old business.
No old business, sir.
No old business. We'll keep it moving to your reminder of meetings.
Just a few. City offices and utility divisions will be closed for the Thanksgiving holiday, November 27th and 28th, 2025. The annual caroling in the park and tree lighting ceremony will be held Monday, December 1st, 7 p.m. across the street in Gateway Park. And December 6th, 2025 is the Seaford Christmas Parade. I know most of you are going to participate. Lineup is at Pennsylvania Avenue and Shipley Street at 6 p.m. and step off is at 7 p.m. That is all that we have, sir.
Don't miss out. Carolyn in the Park and a Christmas parade. All right, going to move on to liaison reports. We'll begin with Councilwoman Stephanie Grassick, Code, Parks, and Recreation.
All right, I'll start with code, just highlighting things that are different from last time. We are continuing to do routine inspections, but they are prepping the 2026 rental renewals. They're being prepped to be sent out on December 1st, as well as the license renewals for plumbers, septic haulers, and trash vendors. Those are being processed as well. As far as large project statuses, there is really not a lot of change. Muirfield still has 17 lots remaining in Phase 4, but there will be another builder completing that project. Bel Air Single Family has completed all the homes. The developer still has one sewer line to test, and then they'll be ready to dedicate and have that all wrapped up. The Western Sussex Business Campus, nothing has changed there. They are still waiting for that final inspection and working on a first lease. The Nylon Capital Shopping Center permits are ready to go for the front building shell spaces. Deltec, Tidal Health, and the mill are still progressing. Mod Wash, if you've been by the shopping center out on the highway, Mod Wash is working or is up and going as far as the production. They've made, they're working on water and sewer connections. Governor's Grant Phase 4, D.R. Horton will be the builder to complete the end, and they have submitted 5 master house plans for review. They will begin submitting their permits before the end of this year. Aldi is getting closer. We're waiting for some final approvals, and then permits are ready to issue as soon as we get those. Cookout also has final revised plans that have been returned and approved. They're still working on architectural plans, and we will be sending out the demo bid pack in January for the Seaford Inn out on the highway after we approved the unbudgeted expenditure for demolition. As far as Parks and Recreation, they have been continuing to plant trees. They planted 14 at the sports complex. They have planted 10 now at the Dolby Lift Station as part of a forestry grant. They have started blowing out irrigation at the bridges, the park shop, and the police department. They have completed all the sorting for youth basketball. The rosters have been sent to coaches. They are ordering jerseys and scheduling the practices for basketball to start. They have cut down and removed 3 dead trees at Gateway Park and cleared brush on Williams Pond. They have installed holiday greenery at City Hall, and the Christmas tree in Gateway Park is up. Many thanks to Public Works, Electric, and Wastewater for help with those. They have 9 students, put the teacher hat back on, sorry. 9 kids registered for Little Wrestlers, which will begin December 9th. Parks and Rec has also made a confirmation that Santa will be appearing at Caroling on the Park on December 1st. So in case anybody was wondering, Santa has RSVP'd. And the bus trip happened on the 22nd of November. 50 people attended and got lots of positive feedback about their adventure in New York. And that's it for Parks and Rec and Code.
Thank you, Councilwoman Grass. We'll move over to Police and Fire and Vice Mayor Dan Henderson.
Thank you. The Chief of the Fire Department and the Chief of the Police Department have both submitted complete reports. And I'll start with fire. There are, as of yesterday, there's 5,311 calls for an average of 16.1 calls per day. Under significant incidents, all of them were outside of city limits, with 1 outside of the district. All apparatus is in service at this point after a long repair process of the heavy rescue. Under training, the last training was on November 19th at 1,900 hours, the Delaware State Fire School for structural fire evolutions. The next training is on December 17th at 1,900 hours at Station 87 for the technical rescue trailer overview and training. Which, on a side note, the technical rescue team was active yesterday up on Route 13 and Redden Road, where they had a truck crane accident. So this training will be timely. I have messed up. There we go. I zigged when I should have zagged. So below you'll see the chart of all the training hours and all the personnel that have participated with totals up for this year. The chief did note that they're one of the busiest departments in the area, in the county, as far as commitment to training, and it shows. Under emergency medical services and career services, Career Lieutenant Mika Eddy completed 4 years of service at the fire department. The 2026 ambulance license was approved by the Fire Commission. There was a clerical error, and they're awaiting the correct copy, but the ambulance is certified. EMT Aiden Twig has started part-time with the fire department and is working through the FTO process, as he is a new EMT. Firefighter EMT Liam Stabner has completed the probationary skill book and exam. And I believe the chief mentioned that his emblem will turn from orange to black. Yeah. So that's a big achievement, and that allows this firefighter to enter into a building. EMT 30-hour refresher course was completed in-house at the Seaford Fire Department. Under news and events, you'll see the 2025 community events, meetings, and fire prevention totals. 155 events with 1,490 personnel attending for a total of 2,856.5 hours. Did we get any news from the chief?
I did not, sir.
Okay. The Seaford Volunteer Fire Department has been notified that we have at least one winner for the Sussex County Fire Prevention Poster and Essay Awards that are going on right now in Laurel. They started a little while ago, so the news is not ready for prime time. We had planned to be able to announce the winner, but it's not public yet. So Ladder 87 with the flag and the ambulance B87 were present for the DIAA semifinal football game at Seaford on the 22nd at Seaford High School. The fire department will be assisting Unified Seaford with Thanksgiving food delivery again this year on November 28th at St. John's. And volunteer probationary firefighter Tyrana Matthews has completed the Delaware State Fire School Academy and is scheduled to graduate on December 13th in Dover. That's a recent change where these volunteers have to go through the fire school training or the academy training. It used to be you could sign on and you could do it at your leisure, but now you have to have the commitment. The fire department has to put up funds to put them through the training and get their equipment prior to cutting them loose in the firehouse. So we appreciate the commitment there of the fire department to put this firefighter through. Chief Craft's report from the Seaford Police Department from November 10th to November 23rd. You'll see, as usual, columns with comparisons between previous years, and 2025 is obviously year to date, but tracking similarly to the previous years. Under all crimes, there were 116, and you'll see the distribution there for an 80% clearance rate, which has dropped slightly. I think the chief had mentioned that 85% is the average, which is 85% is our average, which is above average nationally. Under additional crime data, there were 14 complaints for a 57% clearance rate, and you'll notice that rate is up significantly from the previous period, which was in the, I think the last one was like in the 30s, high 30s. So, under drug complaints, there were 17 adult arrests. There were 5 search warrants. Under traffic, there were 125 traffic contacts, resulting in 96 citations, which I made a comment at previous meetings regarding the ratio of contacts to citations, and you can see that this has come up some based on assertive policing. 3 DUIs, all alcohol related, 1 crash related. There were 24 crashes, 2 injury accidents, 1 on private property and 1 on Tharp Road, east of Sussex Highway. 8 non-reportable and 14 reportable accidents. There were 2 hit-and-run accidents, 1 on private property in the Food Line parking lot and 1 on Stein Highway west of Front Street. And as I mentioned previously, there was 1 drug and alcohol-related crash. You'll see the crime view data, the little snapshot of you can blow it up on your documents to show you the days of the week that were most active, and then to the right, the time of days that most activity occurred. Under summary report, I will call your attention to the first one, Seaford Police Department responded to Walmart for reported stolen vehicle. Investigation revealed that the suspect went behind an employee counter, took the victim's vehicle key, exited the store, and stole the vehicle. Later returned to the store about an hour later. The victim later realized the key was missing, noticed the vehicle had been moved, and reviewed the surveillance footage and confirmed the theft. So warrants are on file. They identify the person, and the warrants are on file, and that's pending. So there's a couple other significant incidents. We've had some large crowds complaints with these Carolina squatter trucks that are gathering and having little rallies. One was at Royal Farms on the 22nd, and then on the same day, they moved to Benjamin's or the Benjamin, and as soon as the officers arrived, they dispersed and they left Benjamin's and went to Wawa. So they kind of running around, kind of like what's the Ocean City unauthorized
H2OI.
H2OI, right? Yeah, there's something like that. But it's unauthorized gatherings, I'd say. So that's an issue that I'm sure has caught the attention of the department. And I'll let you guys review some of the others. There were multiple arrests for a single perpetrator from on different occasions in there that might be of interest to you, like a frequent flyer, so to speak. I'll go to administration. I'll finish up here with administration. Most of the community events and the trainings are routine, but on November 11th through the 16th, the chief and Lieutenant Horn traveled to Jacksonville, Florida, and they sat for interviews and Q&A at the CALEA conference, and as a result of primarily Lieutenant Horn's actions, but the chief has spearheaded this. Lieutenant Horn has managed it, and with the help of the rest of the uniformed and civilian staff, we can announce that the Seaford Police Department is now nationally CALEA certified, so accredited. So that's a huge achievement, and it is already yielding benefits for the 21st century policing model, and but it's going to be hard to maintain. So it's going to be a challenge. So this is the first leg. It's not over. This is a continuing commitment to policing in the 21st century. So I want to congratulate the chief and the entire department for their dedication to this effort. So with that, I'm going to close out on that note. I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir.
And if you're traveling, safe travels.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'm going to move over to Administration and Councilman Orlando Holland.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. They attended Veterans Day celebration held at the Seaford High School, and they met with Jesse Parks from KRM regarding potential land sale in Western Sussex Business Center. And they attended the NIMAC board meeting and executive committee meeting, and they also attended the Christmas parade meeting. And they attended various other meetings and events. All the work was routine. And that concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. Going to move over to Councilman Mike Bradley in the Electric Department.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. They have, in Seaford, completed the infrared scan, and I asked if there was any issues, and there is, I guess, how do I want to put it? Just an arousal about a situation around liquid assets. Trimmed trees on Pennsylvania Avenue, Sycamore Lane and Spruce, repurposed 3 utility poles and installed solar lights at Chapel Branch Nature Trail. The lights were provided by Nanticoke River Waterbed Conservancy. First day with my new tongue. I'm sorry, I'm having a little struggle. The new Christmas lights were placed in front of Governor's Grant, Bel Air, Crossgate, and Herring Run Road. Installed Christmas lights throughout the town, and I might interject, as a kid, I remember looking forward to seeing them on Thanksgiving evening being lit and the rest of the city's lights dimming, very similar to Christmas Vacation. Let's see. Helped the Parks and Rec put up the Christmas tree at Gateway Park. Greg Burke attended the DEMIC board meeting with Charles and June, met with contractors at Seaford Innovation Center to discuss supplying power to Tidal Health Building. And on a side note, had an interesting find in the front yard on Sunday under the magnolia tree. We had a syringe out there, so that created a little excitement for me. I would like for everybody to have a good Thanksgiving. I don't know about you, but it's my favorite holiday because nobody expects anything from anybody else.
That's true.
With that, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. And finally, Public Works and Wastewater Treatment Facility, and Councilman Alan Quillen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will start with Public Works. Leaf pickup is continuing throughout the city and will continue until the end of December. As Councilwoman Grassett stated earlier, that they planted the trees at Dobie Station. Well, the Public Works removed the old dead trees out of there, so. And also assisted with the Christmas tree placement at Gateway Park. And it's great to see the camaraderie we have between our directors and working together and getting things done throughout the city. Kudos to them. Repaired a water leak at 30 Chandler Heights. The fan motor replacement on number 534 heater was completed. Leveled several stone alleyways throughout the city. Hydrant replacement on Route 13 near the Southern Grill where it was hit by a car. Video sewer main to locate lateral on Pine Street. Sewer lateral repair onto Church Street. And attended in trainings and meetings throughout the period, and completed all weekly tasks. Moving over to wastewater treatment facility and the compost, open bids for the wastewater treatment headworks project, so that'll be coming to the front of council soon. The plant performance is good. Effluent is crystal clear. Dewatering performance has been improving. Doing a lot of maintenance throughout the facility, painting the doors throughout the facility, and also cleaning up the primary building in preparation for construction. And continue to work on summary for the PAA trial to submit to the DENRAC. And I also want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving too as well. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman Quillen. A couple shout outs before we close for the evening. Want to give our local Seaford Blue Jays shout out. Going to the state championship Saturday night. I've been told 3:30 is like the opening of the doors, 4 o'clock game kickoff, I believe. Is that correct? I'm getting a nod. Yep. All right.
I think 3:30 is the game.
3:30 kickoff. Oh, excuse me. 3:30 kickoff. So don't be late. Delaware State Saturday. Want to announce our 2025 holiday decorating contest. The judging by the council and yours truly will be done December 10th to the 12th. We're going to announce the winners on December 19th. So please ensure that you have your Christmas decorations up by December 10th. I know it's a bit early for some people, but it helps us get the judging done properly. First place will be $100, second place $75, and third place $50, and they come with signs in their yard to be recognized as the best Christmas lights in town. So, and I think we have one more. A couple slides from this past week. We were honored to host Senator Lisa Blunt Rochester in the city of Seaford. We visited the former Nylon Capital Shopping Center. It was great to visit with the senator, and have a couple of the updated images from the project. A lot of progress. Speaking with the developer Robert Herrera on the project, now it looks like something. Now it's looking like the buildings are coming together, classrooms are coming together, so it's exciting to see the progress. And once again, I want to thank the senator for being willing to come down and fit us in their schedule and visit with us. And with that,
Mayor McCall, before you leave, can I make just one?
please.
If anyone is watching that is in need of a Thanksgiving dinner, I know that it was mentioned in the Vice Mayor's report, but there will be a Thanksgiving dinner. Last year, they served over 500 people. It's just up the street at 300 North Pine Street at St. John's United Methodist Church, but it is an effort of love between most of the churches in the community with Love Inc. and Unified Seaford, and so they'll be serving a Thanksgiving meal from 12 to 3, which is completely free, and then our firemen, again, will be delivering meals to shut-ins that have registered. So if you need a place to go for Thanksgiving, 300 North Pine Street.
Amen. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody here and watching. Hope everybody has an amazing Thanksgiving. And with that, I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn and enter into executive session.
So moved.
I have a motion from Councilman Bradley. Is there a second?
Councilman Holland, I'll second that motion.
I have a second from Councilman Holland. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, we're going to enter into executive session. Thank you.